artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, generative AI, agentic AI. These words get thrown around as if they all mean the same thing. And honestly, even people working in the field mix them up. So let's fix that for good. By the end of this video, you'll have one clear mental map, and you'll know exactly where every buzzword fits. Here's the secret that makes all of this click. These are not five competing things. They're nested one inside another, like Russian dolls. The biggest idea contains a smaller one, which contains a smaller one still. So instead of memorizing five separate definitions, you just need to see how they fit inside each other. Let's build that map, one ring at a time. Start with the outer ring, artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is the oldest and broadest idea here. It is simply the goal of getting machines to do things that normally need human intelligence. Making decisions, understanding language, recognizing a face, playing chess. Notice that's a goal, not a method. It says nothing about how you get there. And for decades, a lot of AI did not learn anything at all. Early AI was mostly handwritten rules. Humans coding in every if this then that by hand. A chess engine with expert moves baked in. A tax form that follows fixed logic. It works, but it is brittle. It only ever knows exactly what a human told it. And the real world is far too messy to cover with rules. To go further, machines had to start learning for themselves, and that is the next ring in. Inside AI sits machine learning. Machine learning flips the script. Instead of writing the rules yourself, you show the machine thousands of examples and let it find the rules. Show it 10,000 emails, each labeled spam or not spam, and it learns the patterns of spam on its own, no human writing them out. The model isn't programmed, it is trained. That single shift from rules to examples is what makes modern AI possible. This is where words like training data, features, and prediction live. Decision trees, clustering, recommendation engines, fraud detection, all classic machine learning. But notice one catch. A human still usually decides which features to look at. And for really messy inputs, raw pixels, raw audio, raw language, choosing the right features by hand becomes nearly impossible. We need something that can learn the features too. One more ring in. At the core, deep learning. Deep learning is machine learning supercharged by neural networks, layers of simple math, loosely inspired by the brain. Stack enough layers and the network learns its own features, automatically. The early layers spot edges. Later layers combine those into shapes, then into faces. You never tell it what an edge is. It discovers that from the data. That is the deep in deep learning, depth of layers. This is the engine behind almost everything you hear about today. Image recognition, speech, translation, and yes, ChatGPT. When most people say AI in 2026, they really mean deep learning. It is hungry, it needs lots of data, and lots of compute. But in return, it finally handles the messy, real-world inputs that defeated every approach before it. Now, what about the systems that don't just recognize, but create? Inside deep learning, generative AI. For most of its history, deep learning was about recognizing. Is this a cat or a dog? Spam or not spam? Generative AI does the opposite. Instead of labeling content, it creates it. New text, new images, new audio, new code. Same neural networks underneath, but trained to produce rather than just classify. ChatGPT writing an essay, or a model painting a picture from a sentence. That is generative AI. The breakthrough that unlocked it was the transformer. And the large language model, a network trained on a huge slice of the internet to predict the next word over and over until it can hold a real conversation. So keep the nesting straight. Every large language model is generative AI, which is deep learning, which is machine learning, which is AI. 4 rings, 1 point. But here's the thing. None of these on their own can actually do anything wrapped around it all. Agentic AI. Here's the part that is genuinely new and the most confused of all. A generative model by itself only talks. Ask it to book a flight, and it will write you a lovely paragraph about booking a flight. But it books nothing. Agentic AI changes that. It takes a generative model as the brain and wraps it in a loop. Think, act, observe, repeat. And act means using tools, searching the web, running code, calling an API, clicking a button. So an agent doesn't just answer. It pursues a goal across many steps, checking its own work as it goes. That's why agentic AI sits like an outer ring around the whole map. It is not a new kind of model. It is a new way of using one. The model is the brain. The agent is the brain. Plus hands, plus a goal. And this is exactly where the field is heading in 2026. From systems that talk to systems that do. And in 2026, this is everywhere you look. A coding agent that writes a program, runs it, sees the error, and fixes itself, looping until the tests pass. A research agent that reads dozens of sources and hands you one clean summary, with citations. A support agent that looks up your order, checks the policy, and issues the refund. Start to finish, with no human in the middle. Same pattern every time. A model to think, tools to act, and a loop that keeps going until the goal is actually met. Now let's put the whole map together. Let's trace a single example through all 5 rings. You ask an AI assistant to plan and book your weekend trip. The fact that it can take on a fuzzy, human goal at all, that is artificial intelligence. The fact that it learned language from examples, instead of hand-coded rules, machine learning. The neural network actually doing that understanding, deep learning. It writing your custom itinerary in fluent English. Generative AI. And the moment it searches for real flights, compares the prices, and actually places the booking, checking each result and adjusting as it goes. That is agentic AI. One request, all 5 layers, working together. That is the whole map. The buzzwords were never competing. They were nested the entire time. And once you can see the map, 3 big myths fall apart. Myth 1. A language model is a search engine. It is not. It predicts text from patterns. It never looks anything up. That is exactly why it can sound completely confident and still be wrong. Myth 2. Generative AI understands you or is somehow conscious. It does not, and it is not. It is stunningly good pattern completion with no inner experience behind it. Myth 3. An agent is full. General intelligence. Also no. It is a model with tools and a loop. Still narrow, still needs guardrails, and still needs a human watching the calls that matter. And here is the fun part. You have almost certainly used every single ring already today. Probably before lunch. Your phone unlocked by recognizing your face. Deep learning. Your inbox quietly filed the junk. Machine learning. Your feed decided what to show you. Machine learning again. You asked a chatbot to draft a message. Generative AI. And the moment you let it search, book, or run something for you. Agentic AI. 5 rings, 1 ordinary morning. So the next time someone blurs these words together, you'll see the rings. Artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, generative, and agentic, each one inside the next. Subscribe for more such intuitive videos